to NASCAR All-Star Race Weekend as coverage continues live on KRC with the NASCAR All-Star Race Open Race, which is coming to you live right here on the channel right now. 100 laps to see who the last contestants will be to drive their way to the front of the field in this 100-lap heat, finish within the top 2 positions, and qualify their way on time, on speed, into the All-Star main event later tonight. And for those that miss out, they still have one more opportunity after that. The fan vote will be at the conclusion of today's race. Usually Fox knows who won the fan vote in advance, but we, the fans, won't know until as soon as that checker flag flies at the end of this 100-lapper. Welcome here today, North Wilkesboro Speedway, hosting the All-Star Race for the 3rd consecutive weekend. And for the 3rd consecutive day, we are live on the channel for All-Star Race Weekend coverage. And it's been a good one so far. Hopefully, our live leaderboard works this time. We had some technical issues with that during the heat races yesterday, specifically heat race number 2, qualifying Friday night. So hopefully, our raw feed will be ready to go here. 2 separate streams for this evening's events. We will be live, obviously, right here for the Open, and then we will end this stream as soon as this 100-lap race concludes, and we will have the main event at 8 p.m. Eastern later on tonight. So a bit of a breakdown period, about an hour, hour and a half or so between streams today. Joe Rochester, welcome to the stream. Thanks for anybody else tuning in as well. You just happen to be the first on the chat, so you get the first shout out. Again, welcome for everybody tuning in for this one. Now, I wasn't planning on doing any NASCAR trivia quizzes for the weekend, with it being a non-points-paying race. We are still live, obviously, right now from 5 p.m. Eastern, but it doesn't look like the drop of the green flag for this All-Star Open is going to be till closer to the bottom of the hour. So with that being said, we're going to have some NASCAR Sporkle trivia for the 3rd, consecutive day. And we'll try to find something All-Star Race oriented again. No points to go off of on the Fantasy League side of things, so no major predictions with this weekend's live commentary coverage of the All-Star Race. So we've done every driver to appear in an All-Star Race, and we've also done every driver to lead a lap in an All-Star Race. I don't really know if there's any other All-Star Race quizzes. If you guys see a quiz in the chat that pops up that catches your eye, let me know. I'll click on it. The best in NASCAR Cup Series 1949 to 2025. What does this entail? Oh, this is statistical categories. It's only 5 minutes. We need a little bit longer of a quiz than that, though. We've got some time to kill before the race begins. See if there's anything for the All-Star Open. Race winners of the All-Star Open. I still feel like that quiz is a little bit... Can't scroll up the screen right now. Might have to back out of the website, pull back into it again. I think it was starting to glitch out on me. So NASCAR trivia for this weekend leading up to the All-Star Open race. See, right side of the screen. I'll try to pick one out that we haven't done yet. There's a couple of them that we have done that I would definitely like to get back into doing again. You know, we did All-Star Laps Led. What other laps led for NASCAR can we do? We've done laps led for the Daytona 500, I believe, as well. 2014 quizzes. 2024. We'll try to do this quiz first. We might end up having 2 of them on this stream. Jimmy Clements, welcome in. Top 10 finishers, All-Star Race since 1990. We did do that already. We did All-Star Race top 10 finishers already, and then we also did... or wait a minute. No, we just did All-Star Appearance. I'll do that next then. I'll do that next. I didn't see that one, so I'll have to go back and put it in the search bar. We'll do 2 quizzes. We've got some time to kill. If I would have known that the race wasn't going to start till closer to 5:30, I would have just started the stream at the bottom of the hour, but we're already live, so with that being said, we'll stay live. And our first quiz is going to be NASCAR lap leaders by all series. So this is Truck Xfinity Cup. Laps led leaders every season of the modern era, it looks like. No, it's just every season. 1949 to 2024. 8 minutes, 149 of them. See what we can do. Kyle Larson, most recently going to be on the list. Corey Haim's going to be on the list from recent years. 23. Eckes probably last season then? Yep, okay. Busch is going to be on here a ton in a lot of series. Logano in the Xfinity. Jimmy Johnson. Jeff Gordon's going to be on here a ton. That year. It was Bell. No, it was not Bell. Elliott. There we go, Chase Elliott. He did win the most races that year, that is right. 2020 was Harvick. He's going to pop on here a ton. 2017 was definitely Truex. Same for 2016 for the Cup Series. Man, Cup Series, we can scroll down the list quite a bit here. 2006, it wasn't Jimmy Johnson. Stewart. Yep. He had 05 with his championship winning year. 2002. I know Jared's definitely on here. Kenseth isn't on the list. 2002 led the most laps but finished 11th in points. Newman? Newman got Xfinity. Put some more truck ones in there. Hornaday, Bodine. No, Bodine's not on the list. Surprising. Ty Dillon, truck champion, 2013. 2012. Led in truck series for laps led. Oh, geez. I'll skip that. Sprague, Biffle. Couple other champs from around that time. Quapple. No. Skinner. Yes. Earnhardt's definitely on the list. I'll just put Petty, Allison, Pearson while I'm at it. Yarborough. Waltrip. Parsons not on here. Baker's not on here. Surprising. 2000 wasn't Dale Jarrett. He dominated that year. 7. See, that's the thing. Oh, I got Dale Jr., by the way. 11th in points for 2002. I didn't even realize that. But he led the most laps that season. That's insane. Probably because of Bristol. Didn't he dominate Bristol that year? One of them. 7th in points at 2000. Led the most laps. Ricky Rudd? Nope, Ricky Rudd's not on the list. Rusty Wallace. There we go. 98. Second in points, 98. Oh, jeez. Who was behind Jeff Gordon that year? Labonte? No, it was Mark Martin. That's right. Martin. There we go. Got 105 out of 149 names. Truck Series in the early 2000s. I'm still missing. Crawford. No. Presley. No. Burton's not on here for the Busch Series at the time. Surprised. Randy LaJoie is probably on here. There we go. 1997 Busch champ. Ingram. Nope, Jack Ingram is not on the list. Sam Ard is. Bone is. Yeah, thank you for helping me out on the Busch Series from the 90s. Fourth in the championship for the Cup Series in 1991. Harry Cant, all right. Knew I hadn't put him on the list yet. Man, Cup Series, we've got 1969 Cup Series, sixth in points. Oh, jeez. Sixth in points, and they led the most laps. I'll put some old names on here. Lund, nope, Lund's not on here. Viable Roberts, he's on here. Weatherly is not on the list. Red Byron. I see Tommy Ellis. Houston's on here too. Thank you for that. Got 117 out of 149. A lot of championships in the 50s. Surprised Lee Petty isn't on here more. Or Ned Jarrett. Because I already put Jarrett, didn't I? Yeah. See, a lot of these guys didn't even, like, 10th in points in 1959 led the most laps. That could be anybody. I do have Yarborough already, 1969. I'll just put, like, AJ Foyt and Mario Andretti on here. I know they didn't run a lot of races in NASCAR around that time, but figured I'd try. Morgan Shepherd maybe for the Busch Series? No. Busch Series 2000 champion. That's bothering me. Busch champ in 2000. Yeah, Flock. Thank you, Thomas. Jeff Green, thanks for the championship. He also led the most laps in 99 as well. A lot of Truck Series we're missing. Nationwide in 2011, was that Keselowski? No. Truck champion 2015. Oh, man, I'm out of time already. They did not give me enough time for this quiz. Oh my gosh. 8 minutes was not a lot of time. I missed a lot of modern ones, but I never really circled back to them. There's a lot of names I definitely could have named on this list that I just didn't give myself enough time to do. We did get the average score 83% out of 71. That's tough because we just didn't have enough time. Had we gotten the time, I definitely would have been well above 90%. And Chastain and Trucks 2019. That would have been actually kind of tough to get. Eric Jones was dominating in Xfinity that year. Despite being a Cup regular, he led the most laps. Then you got Eric Jones, Trucks, was the champion, of course, 2015. Yeah, I didn't give myself enough. I should say I didn't get enough time. The quiz didn't give me enough time. 8 minutes, not a lot. That's why I usually try to pick the quizzes that are 15 to 20 minutes, so it gives us enough time to kind of circle back around. Because we had no time to kind of double check what I might have skipped. 124 out of 149. I mean, we got almost everything until we got to, what was it, 1969 was Bobby Isaac. Okay, so he led the most laps in 90. Then you had Glenn Wood in 60, Rex White, Speedy Thompson, Curtis Turner. Bill Blair I would not have gotten from 1949. Who is that? Who is Bill Blair? Fourth in points in the inaugural NASCAR season. He led the most laps. Ron Barroso, 1989. I haven't heard that name in a minute. Chad Little was on the list. I thought about putting him, but I didn't. Ted Musgrave would have been in the Truck Series. That would have been a good pick. He's onto it. We got all the Cup stuff, and I just was trying to get Cup first. All right. Stu Isaac. Stu. We got Stu and Stu Isaac. Chris Davis, welcome to the stream. Thanks for playing along. We'll have one more quiz. We're still waiting on the All-Star Open to begin, and then we'll get into the usual live commentary. NASCAR laps led in the Open. Ooh. Yeah, let's do this quiz. This is going to be tough. 74 drivers have led laps in the NASCAR All-Star Open. We got to name them all. So it's like, who are guys not only to win the Open, but to lead any laps at them? It says it's updated to 2020, so the last few years might not be on the list, but we have to try anyway. We do have 16 minutes on this one, so that I do like. This is going to be tough. I'll put Ty Gibbs because he has won it recently. Yeah, he's not going to be on here. Bowman is on here. Byron on here. Wallace on here. Kenny Bubba. Blaney led some laps. Larson's won a couple of them. Allmendinger has won a couple of them. Hornish. Earnhardt Jr. Casey Kane. No, Casey is not. That's surprising because he had a fan vote one year, but I guess he didn't lead any laps. Ryan Newman. David Reagan. Yep. Bain. Trevor Bain. Menard. Menard not on the list. What about Boyer? Boyer's on here. Mike Bliss I know is on here. Vickers is definitely on here. I don't know about Stewart and Gordon. Okay, Jeff Gordon. Yeah, see, early 90s they might have won it, I guess. So I'll put Stewart. Yeah, Stewart's. I see. Those are guys I wouldn't think that ever raced in the Open. So to lead laps in it is another thing. Casey Mears is not on here. McMurray is definitely on here. What about Montoya? No. Ambrose? No. John Andretti? No. Bobby Hamilton? No. Jimmy Spencer. Spencer's on the list. Sorensen. No. Scott Riggs. Yes. Mayfield. Jeremy Mayfield's on here. Chase Elliott's on here. Figure I'd put Jarrett Martin. See, this is going to be early in their careers for those guys. Guess by that, we'll go Waltrip, Michael Waltrip. Steve Park. Okay. Ginner. Okay, now we're getting there. I do have David Reagan already. Biffle. Edwards. Guess he's on here. Kenseth. See, there's some big names. There's some that are big names that probably never raced the Open. Because Kenseth won the 600 his rookie year, so I guess he would have... If that was his first career win, he would have been in the All-Star Open the week before that, which would have been the same for Gordon. Yeah, so Sterling Marlin is definitely on here. Ernie Irvin. Kyle Petty. Richard Petty led one. Allison, no. Kulwicki, yes. Our quiz this week again. Anybody who's ever led a lap in the All-Star Open. I got the Burtons, yep. See, Jimmy Johnson was never in the Open because he won early in his rookie year. Bush, nope. Same for the Bush brothers. We were talking about him earlier. Chad Little, Ted Musgrave. Musgrave, no. Little, yes. Doing a quiz before the All-Star Open. Any driver who has ever led a lap in the All-Star Open is our quiz. We've got 38 out of 74 names right now. I put Mark Martin already. David Stremme, that was a poll. Jeff Green, no. Tony Raines, too far back in the field. Johnny Sauter's on here. Oh, no, he's not. He finished runner-up that one year, but he didn't lead a lap, I guess. Lake Speed, yep. I do have Dale Jr. already. Dale Sr.'s not on the list. De Benedetto, no, because it wasn't up to date through 2020. De Benedetto. Yeah. Wasn't up to date yet. Almirola, he's on here. Regan Smith? Nope. Allgaier. Nope. I think I got Blaney already. Keselowski? Joey Logano his rookie year. Nope. Keselowski was on the list, though. Suarez? Daniel Suarez? Oh, Chastain. Dylan is probably on here. Yep. Ty and Austin are on here. 45 of 74. Harvick. See, I don't think he was ever in one. Yeah, I don't think he was ever in a All-Star Open. Ryan Preece? Oh. Maybe too recent. Save for Gregson. McDowell? No. Rudiman. David Rudiman's not on here either. Truex. Martin Truex Jr. is on here. Shelmerdine. Patrick, I'll put her, but she's not on the list. I don't know about Shelmerdine. Yeah, too far back. Morgan Shepherd. Nope. Neil Bonnet. Nope. Tim Richmond. Tim Richmond's on the list. Ricky Craven. Craven's on the list. Schrader. I'm just naming guys who drove the 25 car. Schrader's on the list. Terry Labonte. Bobby isn't. Jarrett not on here. Elliott Sadler's probably on here. Yeah, one lap. One lap for Elliott Sadler. Hamlin's on here. One lap. See, he was probably only in the Open his rookie year because he didn't win until he got to Pocono. Jerry Nadeau. Yeah, another driver who drove the 25. There we go. Nemechek, another driver who drove the 25. Oh, boy. I do have Boyer already. Derek Cope. Yep. 3 laps. Briscoe, probably not because it's not that recent. The quiz only goes to 2020. But I think it was before the 2020 Open. I do have Labonte's. All in back. No. Dallenbach's not on here. I thought I put Jimmy Spencer already. Yeah, I think I did. Put Casey Mears, I thought. Yeah. I got Cool Wiki already. Dave Marcus is on the list. I tried Bonnet. I tried Sorensen. They're not on here. I've tried Ambrose and Montoya. That's 6.5 minutes. Thought I put Trickle already. Apparently I did not. Thank you for repeating that in the chat. Flopple. Already put him. Bodine. There we go. Brett, Jeff, Todd, all on the list. 61 of 74. Rick Mast. Ah. Rusty is, I don't think he was on the list, but I got Bubba Wallace already. Moroso. I mean, should have probably guessed that early considering I didn't have him on the last quiz. What about Busher? No. Stenhouse? Nope. Stenhouse. No. Golly. 62 of 74. Rick Wilson. Oh my gosh, I wouldn't have gotten that. Thank you. Susan Greenland. Thanks for tuning in. Helping out in the chat. Billy Kramer. Frank Powers. We got all those guys. I think I've gotten everybody I've seen in the chat so far. Irina Sarah, welcome to the stream. Ford Fan 24, welcome. Menard Reagan. I tried those two already. Greg Sachs. Sachs is on the list. 6 laps led. Got 64 of 74. Josh Wise. I mean, he had the fan vote one year. I don't know. Maybe maybe he led some laps. Grisham. Nope, Grissom is not on here. I tried Regan Smith already. Zachary Powers, welcome to the stream. I already tried Hamilton. Got 3 minutes. Like Cody Ware out of like caution laps or something. LePage? Maybe. Kevin LePage has 2 laps led. Yeah, already got him. Jason Leffler. JJ Yaley. I felt good about that JJ Yaley one. We're going to have to pause this and then maybe come back to it later, because cars are on the racetrack and we need to get this pre-race underway. Or the rest of the pre-race, which is basically just the starting grid. So I hate to pause that quiz, but obviously we're all here to see who is going to win the All-Star Open, which is set to begin shortly. Top two will advance to the All-Star main event for tonight. 100 laps. Overtime could be possible if we do end up having a caution late in the race that forces us past the scheduled distance. But again, the top two will advance, and then a fan vote for a third entry from the All-Star Open to make the All-Star main event later tonight. Shane Van Gisbergen on Friday night qualified on the pole for the All-Star Open, so he'll be starting up in the front of the field for the first time in an oval in his NASCAR career. Carson Hocevar, who had a pole a couple of weeks ago, is on the outside of the front row starting second, looking to make his first All-Star race. In row number 2 will be Noah Gragson, who won the fan vote the last 2 years on the inside of row 2, with Michael McDowell, former NASCAR All-Star, to his outside. Ryan Preece and Zane Smith will line up in row number 3, row 4 for Justin Haley and John Hunter Nemechek. Ty Gibbs, who has won the All-Star Open once in his career, second in his other All-Star Open, starts mid-pack inside row 5. Ty Dillon to his outside. In row 6 will be Cole Custer and Eric Jones. Jones, another former All-Star in the Open. Same for Bubba Wallace, who's outside of row 7. His teammate Riley Herbst to the inside. In row number 8 will be Cody Ware, and former Todd Gillen and Chad Fincham bring up the rear of the field in row number 9, making up 18 cars in the Open. Again, top 2 advance. My pick for the Open here today is going to be Carson Hocevar, starting on the front row. The pole sitter won both of the NASCAR heat races yesterday. Track position is going to be huge, but I do not trust SVG starting on the pole to necessarily stay up at the very front of the pack, despite the fact he was quick on his qualifying lap, other than just the pit crew. Warmest temperatures of the weekend here at North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, 84 degrees with a track temp of 120. Winds are 10 to 20 miles an hour. It's been relatively gusty this weekend, but on a short track, not really going to affect the cars too much with the wind side of things. Very sunny. We'll be racing in the nighttime skies later, but as for the Open, full sun. So much different racetrack from what we'll see later tonight. We'll have a little bit more grip. Might see some more slipping and sliding around in the Open race in general. Brett Whiteside's welcome into the stream also. And many others who I may not have shouted out yet. Appreciate you playing along in our Sporkle NASCAR trivia for the week. We catch a caution. I'll go back through and maybe finish that off since we have a couple minutes left. But as for now, the lights are out on the pace car and they will be going green this time by. 100 laps, not a long time on a short track. Drivers starting deep in the field. A couple of good ones back there. Got to make their way up quickly. Green flag is about to wave as Van Gisbergen on the outside will lead us to the green in front of the packed crowd at North Wilkesboro Speedway. And the Spire Motorsports Chevy's in row number 2 looking to get to the inside of Van Gisbergen for the lead. Hocevar really drove it off deep into the center of turns 1 and 2. Almost got up into his teammate as Hocevar slides into second place and Van Gisbergen leads the opening lap. 77-71 trailing just behind single file, 2x2 from about 4th all the way back through the rest of the pack. Noah Gragson and the 38 of Zane Smith, 2 Fords battling for 4th door-to-door. And as they get through turns 3 and 4, it's Gragson on the inside, 38 car of Smith on the outside. McDowell puts a lot of pressure on Hocevar once they got up off the exit of turn 4 that last lap. Nearly got underneath his teammate. Being a little bit patient early on in a short race. Had a chance to get to his left rear corner panel, maybe give him a little bump. Had that not been a teammate, McDowell might have been a little bit more aggressive. St. Smith, after winning the battle for 4th, has quickly turned his sights on McDowell for that 3rd place spot. McDowell may be waiting a little too long to try to make it a pass on that 2nd place position into the transfer spot. John Hunter Nemechek mid-pack, back-to-back top 10s for him coming into this weekend in the non-points paying race. A little bit of momentum, and he clips the left rear. Noah Gragson getting off into turn 1. Gregson's up in the marbles, keeps it off the wall, but loses several positions through turns 1 and 2 after getting hit by his former ride. Justin Haley, Ryan Preece also get on by Gragson. Gragson now falls to 8th after starting 3rd. Ty Gibbs gets by him in the very next corner on the inside. Gibbs started 9th, and he is only up 1 spot now. Gibbs, Wallace, some of the heavier hitters in this open, starting mid-pack after a poor qualifying effort on Friday. Gibbs won the All-Star Open a year ago, second in his rookie season the year before, so he's never not transferred out of the Open into the All-Star main event in his first 2 full-time Cup Series seasons, trying to go 3 for 3 today. Still searching for that first career Cup win, which is why he is in the Open to begin with. SVG's led every lap so far, though. His lead's only 0.3 of a second over Carson Hocevar. Michael McDowell is in third, rather. Zane Smith in 4th, and Ryan Preece just made a pass for 5th on John Hunter Nemechek. Nemechek is in 6th, Justin Haley 7th, Ty Gibbs 8th, Ty Dillon 9th, Noah Gragson slips to 10th. And that is the top 10 in the running order. 8 laps into the All-Star Open. Obviously, a lot of time still to go. Field rumbles their way to the start-finish line.
Taking off, but I mean, he's still up a few spots from where he started, just not as far forward as he would like to be.
Well, he did a good job when Nemechek got into Gragson and moved him up the racetrack. He passed 3 of them right there. Like I said, I think it was low air pressure, but the car's really taken off, making some hay now. Got to be careful to run too many laps on the bottom. Get aggressive here.
Yeah, Wallace having trouble completing this pass on Noah Gragson.
Now he's got him.
And we expect that 23 car. It's had speed all year. They had a tough qualifying effort there, put it back in the pack, and a lot of ground to make up. But there's a lot of things that are going to happen in this race when it comes to the caution, the strategy. What do you do when that caution comes out? We saw 2 tires in one heat race. We saw no tires in the other heat race. So it'll be interesting to see what that mix is when we get that break.
Ty Gibbs to the inside of Justin Haley. Now this will be for 7th place. Remember, qualifying was 3 consecutive laps with a pit stop for 4 tires in the middle of it. So driver and crew all had to perform at their best to get a top spot.
See Ty Gibbs able to complete that pass there on Justin Haley. And I'm impressed with that middle line for turns 1 and 2. I don't know if that's because the outside lane isn't cleaned up and ready to go.
Well, we certainly saw a lot of carnage in the modified race right before this, and it was mostly down there at 1 and 2. You can see where the cleanup was.
Here comes McDowell now. These are teammates battling for 2nd place.
Hey, it doesn't matter today. We're racing to be an all-star.
Yeah, and you know that is that bubble spot. You want to have all the track.
Also, most of our running down the racetrack won't like that.
You want to have all the track position that you can as early as you can get it. So, yeah, you see he didn't like that. Gave him a right front fender to the door.
That was warranted, in my opinion.
And these are 2 drivers that are all go and no whoa.
Well, he certainly not off and running down the racetrack, but they better go. He needs to sort this out, Kevin. He told me before this race, do not run side by side. You get these tires hot and they fade. You got Priest coming, putting a lot of pressure on him.
And
Priest and Zane Smith.
We saw this in the heat race. You spin 4 or 5 laps down there, you're going to go backwards. The tires will recover, but it takes a little while for them to cool off and be able to perform like they need to. But that bottom lane heats them up quick.
He's running out of time.
Yeah, because if McDowell can't complete the pass, he's not going to get upstairs and slide into 3rd. Priest is right there.
Look at that. He's already at the other side. Whoa, maybe not.
You know, a lot of times you'll fade like that, trying to make the guy think that you're going to come up the racetrack, and right there it worked as Priest gave him just a little bit of room and then drove it in one hard. As a team owner, that's never a great thing to see when your team cars are banging fenders like that.
Well, so far it's a walkaway for Shane Van Git.
Yeah, 1.7-second lead for Van Gisbergen.
On your screen, almost 2 seconds behind the race leader, but it's Carson Hocevar trying to hold on to the final transfer spot.
Yeah, and I think Hocevar's car, I mean, it's you know, it's a 10th or a 10th and a half off, but he's got that second lane to where he can defend himself. He can put his car in that second lane, and they can't finish that pass in that bottom lane so far.
As Brad Keselowski did at the head of his heat, the first heat yesterday for the All-Star lineup. You get in that top groove and you're the leader. You're hard to deal with.
When we started practice, we saw this racetrack be pretty traditional on the bottom of the racetrack, kind of middle lane through 1 and 2. But as you run, I think the groove will start to spread out as the lap times start to slow down a little bit.
All right, here's Van Gisbergen's radio.
Not slow down. I think myself. Get to the bathroom if you need. By 10, you're still a tenth and a half better. You're in at 70 or 85. Bathroom will probably get bigger if I'm burning up.
Watching the weather tech on board for Van Gisbergen, who's having a nice Sunday drive.
Well, he's living what he sees in the mirror. Those cars side by side, I feel like Hocevar's holding this clan up, and he's driving off into the sunset. So much the fact that he's asking to try to slow down. It's a good feeling, isn't it, Kevin?
It is a good feeling when you're driving off like that. Bad news is the caution's going to come out at about halfway, and you're going to have to do it all over again.
Larry Mack.
Yeah, Mike, I don't know if y'all are looking out the window of the booth, but the sun is gone now. There's clouds throughout the entire sky. It feels like it's dropped about 10 to 15 degrees. That could weigh into the decisions of these races. When that caution comes out here in a few laps. Interesting.
25 laps to the halfway caution at 50 laps to go. So pretty much the distance of what our heat races were from last night. 75 laps left in the All-Star Open. Shane Van Gisbergen's lead is about 2.5 seconds over Carson Hocevar in second. Hocevar holding up a slew of race cars just behind him. Only about a 1.5 second gap between second and seventh on the grid. Hocevar in second for the moment, but Ryan Preece is looking to the inside. Preece is in third. Michael McDowell sits in fourth. Fifth for Zane Smith, and John Nemechek is sixth. Seventh for Ty Gibbs. Justin Haley eighth. Ty Dillon ninth. Bubba Wallace rounds out the top 10. 11th for AJ Allmendinger. 12th for Riley Herbst. Todd Gillen 13th. Noah Gragson 14th. And Eric Jones 15th. 16th for Cole Custer. Cody Ware 17th. And Chad Fincham in 18th. Last place of our open entries. The halfway caution is the only caution guaranteed in this All-Star Open. Again, right at lap 50. Very similar to the lap 30 comp yellow that we had in both heat races yesterday evening. And that will be the one time for these teams to pit and try to go off strategy to gain track position one way or another. Preece has taken a look to the inside on multiple occasions of Hocevar. Can stay there for a lap or two, but can't complete the pass. Same thing was happening with Michael McDowell. But the difference is Preece is able to keep with the 77 while the 71 is faded just a bit in fourth. And that second place battle is the final transfer spot. So this is a big pass to be had for Preece if he can get by him, preferably before the comp yellow. Because you never know if you're going to lose any time in the pits. Bubba Wallace has not made his way forward, only up one spot from the start to 10. Ty Gibbs is up 3 spots to 6th. Maybe some of the bigger names that were in the middle of the pack. AJ Allmendinger started back in 17th in the last row. He's up to 11th. All of those drivers have won the All-Star Open before. But today it might not be the case. Van Gisbergen's lead continues to grow over Hocevar, 3.1 seconds now. 3.7 seconds to third on Preece, 4.1 seconds to McDowell in fourth, and 4.4 seconds to Zane Smith in fifth. So that's the top 5, the intervals between them as of right now. 16 more laps to get to the halfway caution. A little contact battling for position in the middle of the pack. Ty Dillon with Justin Haley. Dillon looking to the inside, Haley on the outside. That battle is for 8th. Dillon completes the pass for position. Ty Dillon has never made an All-Star main event. And we shall see if he can drive his way up there today. He's impressed on certain short, flat ovals this season. Phoenix had a very good run that day. Just finished outside the top 10. A lot of that was tire strategy, so maybe his team could pull off some kind of a strategy for running in the back half of the top 10. Maybe stay out of the pits if others pit ahead of them. Pit for the fresh tire advantage. Those behind and see what the mix would be. Ty Gibbs getting into John Hunter Nemechek several laps ago. I did see that on screen. Nemechek's fallen back a couple spots now. We mentioned he just got passed by Gibbs, and now it looks like Ty Dillon's working his way to 7th on him right now as well. Both the Legacy Motor Club cars not having great runs. Eric Jones back at 15th still. While Nemechek has faded a bit. He got up as high as 5th in the early going. Little leanage going on. Contact on the middle of the front stretch between Dillon, who is on the inside of Nemechek still. Hasn't completed the pass yet. Unscheduled pit stop for the 34 of Todd Gillen. He's on pit road. It looks like the crew is going to change right side tires. He should be the only car 1 lap down, assuming that he doesn't lose a 2nd lap in the pits. No, Chad Fincham has actually fallen off the lead lap, so he'd have to pass Fincham. That's going to be a tall task for Gillen. Pit stop's probably going to take him out of it. He's running towards the back half of the field anyway. Not sure exactly what happened there. Maybe he had a cut tire, but whatever the case, not good for the driver of the 34. Bond 1771, welcome to the stream. Robert Goodrich, welcome in as well. How many total laps? 100. We're on lap 42. Bubba Wallace on the outside of Justin Haley. That'll probably be the best spot to make a pass if he can beat somebody to the outside lane. Pass will be for 9th place. Wallace is clear off turn 4. Top 5 positions have not changed since the opening 10 laps. Freese is still within a half a second of Hocevar, just hasn't been able to make the pass on him yet. Shane Van Gisbergen continues to grow his lead out, 3.7 seconds. That last lap, he was about a 1/10 of a second quicker than Hocevar. 19.12 to a 19.22 for Carson. 8 laps until halfway. And Hocevar did as well, but still a bit slower than the leader with a 19.1 flat. AJ Allmendinger to the back of his former teammate Justin Haley for 10th. AJ on the move, up another spot. Slide job through turns 1 and 2. Almost got hit from behind in the center of the corner by Haley. Haley made the quick maneuver to pivot to the bottom of the racetrack, but unable to make a pass there. On the crossover, that is. Gregson, the biggest loser so far, as he started 3rd in the All-Star Open, and he's back 10 positions to 13th. Allmendinger up the most spots, 6th to 10th. 5 spots gained for Wallace. 3 apiece for Ty Dillon, Ty Gibbs. Top 2 have remained the same from the start. Van Gisbergen first, Hocevar second. 3 laps to go to halfway. Todd Gillen, after changing the right side tires, is still not in the free pass spot on Chad Fincham. And Cody Ware's the last car on the lead lap, should remain on the lead lap to the halfway point. So Fincham is more than likely going to end up getting the free pass in the 66 car for MBM, one of the 2 open entries for this weekend. Cody Ware would be the other, and that is because Harrison Burt will be driving the 51 in the main event. He's locked in because of winning the Summer Daytona race last year. So taking the automatic bid, Rick Ware Racing was like, hey, come drive our 51 car, and so they're in the All-Star main event. Wallace with a slide job through 1 and 2, clear high on the fellow Toyota driver John Hunter Nemechek. Nemechek trying the crossover through 3 and 4 to the bottom. A little bit of contact with the left rear corner panel of Wallace's Toyota, but not enough to get Wallace up out of the groove, and Bubba moves up to 8th. Gregson lost another spot to Eric Jones recently. Now Cole Custer puts him under duress. Only Front Row Motorsport Ford looking quick enough to try to get their way into the open on speed seems to be Zane Smith in 5th. Gregson's lost a ton of spots. Gillen off the lead lap, 2 laps down to be exact for Todd Gillen. He'll be able to take the wave around here and get one of those laps back, so if he does catch another caution in the second half of the race, then he could get the free pass, because again, the free pass now is going to Chad Fincham. So we're at the halfway caution. In our All-Star Open, Shane Van Gisbergen's led every lap from the pole so far. Carson Hocevar still in second. Ryan Preece third. Michael McDowell fourth. And Zane Smith rounds out the top 5. Pit stops looming very shortly.
Found yourself in this frame of mind that was a lot easier to focus. I know you find that hard to believe, but
I don't like the things that can take it out of your control. The
Yes.
things that are out of your control. And this pit opening right here takes it out of the driver's control.
My question would be, was he?
I think it is. I think that's like falling off a lot. It's full tires. Yeah, look out.
That may answer the question. I was wondering, was he easy enough on those left side tires to get away with changing just 2?
well, you have the lap times on your dash, and when he's saying that his lap times fell out more than he's driving the fastest one.
Larry?
Yeah, last night in the heat races, the complaint across the board was my car would not turn, front wheels are sliding. Whether it's because of the modified race or whatever, the people that are complaining about handling, they're complaining about being loose. The rear's wanting to come around, the rear tires are not gripping.
And I would say something else to go along with that, Larry, is the fact that they all probably fought tight yesterday, and some of them may have jumped the fence today, over adjusting that car, because if you're tight, you're just dead in the water.
Well, they're warming up for something. That's Team SVG right there.
And pit road will be open this time.
I don't think 4 tires is the call, because 4 tires hasn't won a heat race. Probably won't win the Open either. That's my guess.
Leader, 2 tires or 4?
Everybody's coming in, though.
I want 2 tires because I don't want to give up that track position.
Jamie?
Bubba Wallace up 6 spots, saying he's pedaling at no right rear lateral grip. He said, let's be as quick and efficient, guys. This has been the #1 pit crew on pit road all year long, trying to make up for qualifying the other night. Let's see. Obviously, 2 tires will be in the call, but Charles Wright, what? For fresh ones, it is too, Regan.
There's a lug nut that just got...
77, very, very loose through the center of the corner. Good drive off, 2 tires for him. And the 88 of your leader, Shane Van Gisbergen, it's going to be 4 tires for him. Car's really good, just kept getting looser.
Well, he's going to lose 6 spots, so that's going to be tough to overcome with all these guys that took 2 tires right there.
Exactly where I was going when I said I'm nervous for him.
Well, this changes everything. 2 tire changes near the front of the field. Will that decide the All-Star Open?
Top 5 off of pit road took right side tires only. Shane Van Gisbergen was the first off of pit road that took 4 tires. He is in 6th. So we shall see if the faster drivers can work their way forward. It's going to be tough with that many cars on rights. But although the heat race winner didn't take 4 tires, the driver who finished second in all the heats yesterday did take 4. You don't have to win this race to move on to the All-Star main event. Top 2 advance. So this is going to be fun. This is going to be a battle. I think we're going to have a heck of a battle, at least for the final transfer spot, if not for the win of this Open based off the strategy we have. And we saw a pretty good battle for second for about 25 to 30 laps there before it faded, and Preece might have burned the tires off of his car a little early and couldn't really contest with Hocevar for about the last 20 laps of that green flag run. Hocevar and McDowell for Spire Motorsports, both trying to get in. They took right side tires only, and they'll be on the front row for the upcoming restart. Ty Gibbs, Bubba Wallace will be in row number 2. Zane Smith, Shane Van Gisbergen, row 3. And again, SVG on back. We'll have 4 fresh tires. Top 5 took rights only. We'll take our first break of the stream. You're listening live on KRC to the NASCAR All-Star Open at North Wilkesboro. Yeah, 3.7 second advantage is impressive. That was about what Christopher Bell had in the heat race in the first 30 laps to the Cop Yellow. He had about a 4-second lead at one point. A very fast hot rod, as Clinton Boyer would like to say. Done so yet. Our light goal for the All-Star Open is 50. And we are about halfway home through this race. We are currently at 33 likes, so still 17 away. We've hit our light goal every stream so far this weekend, so see if we can go 4 for 4, and hopefully 5 for 5 in the main event later tonight. 8 p.m. Eastern, we'll go live for the All-Star Race main events. And we'll have that little break between races.
Qualifying, it boys look like they're on pins and needles, Kevin. Things are flying around that racetrack.
5 studio sets, up team commentators, and I'm told Fox has over 600 people on the ground to present the greatest spectacle in racing.
Well, it's always a part of
Or at St. L.
a great racing weekend. You start watching the F1 race, then you go to Indy, and then you watch Coke 600. So great day to be a race fan.
All right, we're ready to complete the All-Star Open.
Hocevar will lead us to the green. Michael McDowell on the inside, row 1. Hocevar, the launch car on the outside, goes in the later portion of the restart zone. Green flag back in the air. 3 wide to the bottom goes AJ Allmendinger in the middle of the pack underneath of John Hunter Nemechek and Ty Dillon. Michael McDowell in danger of losing second to Ty Gibbs. Gibbs on the outside of McDowell for second place while Hocevar's clear for the lead and out in front for the first time in the Open. Nose to nose at the line, McDowell just ahead of Gibbs as they cross the stripe. Gibbs with a better run on the high side off turn 2, but the bottom seems to be a bit better in 3 and 4, so we'll see if McDowell can hold on there. McDowell drives it in deep on entry. Can't get back to the gas as soon on exit. Slides the rear tires up over the bump on the exit in turn 4 as well. Gibbs is nearly clear into turn number 1. And now he's clear off turn 2 for second. So Ty Gibbs for the 3rd consecutive year trying to get a top 2 spot in the All-Star Open while Carson Hocevar leads the race. And Gibbs trying to hold on for the final transfer spot. Shane Van Gisbergen on the 4 fresh tires still stuck back in traffic. He's side by side for 6th with Ryan Preece. The top 5 who stayed on the right side tires only are still the top 5. A handful of laps into the restart now. 38 laps to go this time by in the All-Star Open. 3 wide up off turn 4 and contact as a car sandwiched in the middle of Zane Smith bounces between Van Gisbergen on the inside and Preece on the outside. Smith loses the spot to both of those drivers. He was in front of them for a brief moment. That's the first driver on the right side tires only going backwards, that being Zane Smith. AJ Allmendinger gets by him next. Again, AJ started 17th in this All-Star Open. He's now up to 7th. Ty Dillon slides his way on a slide job through turns 1 and 2, cutting the nose off the 38. And with Smith back in traffic, continues to go in the wrong direction. Side by side for 3rd through 3 and 4 with a fast Ryan Preece coming up 4 fresh Goodyears behind. Contact between McDowell and Wallace may slow him down a bit. Preece up on the outside looking for a run. Wallace roughs McDowell up through 1 and 2. Remember, these two have a history in the Open. McDowell wrecked Wallace back in the 2020 Open at Bristol several years ago, and I'm sure Wallace hasn't forgot. Wallace slides clear up off turn 4 for 3rd. Preece going for 4th underneath Michael McDowell. He'll slide up. He's clear. Clips the left rear of Wallace. Now he's underneath for 3rd. Preece is on the move in the 60. 34 to go this time by. Preece is clear. Off turn 4 for 3rd place. 1 spot to go for the transfer position. And he's only just over half a second behind Ty Gibbs. A lot more beating and banging middle of the pack. Both the legacy cars getting together. Eric Jones, John Hunter Nemechek, Zane Smith up high. Has been in the wrong place at the wrong time. Smith's fallen all the way back to 12th. Hocevar ran the fastest lap of any that last time by. Now Preece, this next time by, 18.79 quickest lap by 0.2 over Hocevar, the leader. Preece is a 2.5 off the lead and 0.7 off a second for Gibbs. Gibbs also 0.7 off of Hocevar for the race lead. 32 to go this time by in the All-Star Open.
Hang on, McDowell. This will be for 5th place.
Then you see him drive it in the corner, and that's become the preferred groove. Drive in hard, slide up in front of him.
But McDowell crosses him under.
Yeah, but he's got the preferred spot now. As long as he stays to that outside, see how he uses that bank on the outside with his banking, progressive banking in this racetrack. Here comes SVG. I want some.
So does Ty Dillon in the 10. And they're 3 wide again.
Oh!
Yeah, you see McDowell have to lift. SPG was coming down the hill, and Ty Gibbs was coming up the hill.
The only way staying out on old tires works if he can keep the track position like Hocevar out in the front.
And that battle for second position is starting to heat up. Ryan Preece has run down Ty Gibbs. That 60 car is really strong getting in the corner, and we've seen Ryan be pretty aggressive with making those passes. See Ty Gibbs way up the hill. Preece is able to run that middle lane and hold his ground through turns 1 and 2.
Twice Ty Gibbs has been in the Open, and both times he transferred into the All-Star race.
Oh, boy.
Gibbs
Gibbs didn't like that.
That's an easy one for me. You run me down the racetrack, it's going to make my decision on what I do with you down in the corner a lot easier.
Well, they're
Oh.
door right now.
They're still banging.
Door against door.
Gibbs is not done here.
Is now.
Brian Priest to second behind Carson Hosevar.
Priest was just able to get that car positioned to where he could get a straight shot up off the corner and drive forward. And Ty Gibbs just wasn't quite lined up to be able to do the same thing.
These RFK cars are extremely fast this weekend. Brad won in that race. Busher was fast. Now the third one, fast again.
More contact. Nemechek and McDowell. This is back at 10th place now.
These guys are in desperation mode. They need something to happen, and that something is a caution.
Riley Herbst closing in, and so too Noah Gregson.
Man, right along with SVG here, I'm heartbroken for him. I mean, smooth sailing, dominating this race. Literally talking on the radio, should I slow down? Put 4 tires on, lost track position. You're in trouble.
Back even.
So out front of the teams that took just 2 tires, Hosevar leading, Gibbs.
Oh, Herbst is against the wall.
Off the wall and caution waves.
Gee, I don't know though. We should
It
have.
is.
All right. Well, that
Sparks
adds,
are going to fly.
that adds another element. When we get this second restart here that we didn't know if we were going to have,
That is a very
to
quick
me,
trigger
opens the door
caution.
for a whole lot of aggression.
That probably shouldn't have been a yellow. He straightened that thing out
Todd
pretty
Dillon,
quick.
Remember, he made a pit stop under green and lost a lap. What happened to Riley Herbst here?
Well, I'd say something to do with this 71 car. Watch this. Barely clears him here. Gets down into turn 1. Little love tap. At 71, he's in desperation mode. He needed a caution. And he had a car in his way.
Yeah, he needed a caution, and I would say his teammate did not want one out there leading the race, but
He didn't want to go home either. If you jump at the least little bit up out of the rubber groove, getting them marbles, you're going to be in a fence. It's like ice. It didn't take much.
no. I would say that was definitely a message,
Yes.
or something that had happened previously.
Yeah, message delivered. All right, Larry, you made your pit stop at halfway. What are your options now?
Well, my options, if I'm in the top 5, 6, or 7, my pit box has already been sent back to the hall. There's nothing coming to pit road. But you know what, Mike, if you're back there 7th, 8th, or deeper, why not? What have you got to lose? Come get 4 more, make an adjustment, maybe pump the air up in the tires like you would for a short run, like you do for qualifying.
Well, you were about spot on. 7th or 8th. Looks like they all hit it.
He saw AJ Allmendinger right there trying to look in his mirror and decide how many were going to pit. When he saw everybody behind him was going to dove back down to pit road.
He agreed with him.
Absolutely. You don't want to be the last car on old tires. And in this scenario, when there's not a lot of points, there's 0 points on the line. Only thing is making it to the A main tonight, to the All-Star race.
I promise you right now, you're talking about SVG, you're talking about Gregson, Wallace, Gibbs at 3rd. Their crews, their conversations right now are, it's your last chance. You're going to have to get aggressive. How bad do you want it?
Under caution at lap 80, 20 laps to go in the All-Star Open. Saturday is Baseball Night in America, featuring 2 of the biggest stars in baseball. Shohei Ohtani leads the Dodgers against Juan Soto and the Mets, or you'll see the Guardians take on the Tigers. Check local listings for the game in your area Saturday, 7 Eastern on Fox. Larry Mack?
Yeah, Mike, you've known me for a long time, and you know I've always got an oh, by the way. The only thing about those cars that just pitted, they had to put on scuff tires. These teams only had 2 sets of stickers, what they started the race on, what they changed at lap 50. Yeah, these are cold scuffs, but I think the big thing would be, Kevin and Clint, pump the air up just a little bit for this short run.
Thanks, Larry. One exception might have been Michael McDowell, who only took 2. The first time he stopped, he had 2 stickers sitting.
Kevin, you saw it just like I did. That 60 car Ryan Priest, he didn't necessarily choose.
And we're going to hold the caution flag for a lap.
Yeah, definitely. So like he might have ran over the box right there.
I don't like the rule. I think it needs to be as long as you make it obvious where you want to go, but it is a rule.
Oh, man. Priest just not paying attention.
For his sake, they don't call it, but
Well, he's on the inside, and we're saying 1 to go. However, thank you, Clint. Ryan Priest will advance to the rear.
I'm sorry.
No, I saw it,
And I knew
the
it.
officials did. Here's their radio.
How did we do that? You freeze thing. I know, it's like the whole way.
Again, those front cars up there, in my opinion, we've done this a long time. All you need to do is show that your intention, and he did that. But unfortunately, it doesn't matter. That's
Yeah,
cool.
and there's some orange signs hanging on this outside catch fence right here that help signal that box on the inside of the
It does
racetrack.
look
Priest.
tough
Very
to
difficult
find.
for him. And we're back to green. Hocevar, Gibbs, Wallace, Van Gisberg, and Haley. All hopeful of the top 2 finishing spots. Let's got it.
Force the issue right there with that 54 car.
Oh, look at this. They got into each other because it's open the door for SVG. Here it comes.
Gibbs into the back of the 23 car, getting into turn 3 and entry just a bit. Van Gisbergen down to the inside for third on Ty Gibbs, and John Hunter Nemechek trying to force it 3 wide for third place off of turn 2. 15 laps to go in the All-Star Open, this time by shortly after our first caution for incident of the night. Nemechek nearly clear on the 88 car, and now Eric Jones out of nowhere, also for Legacy Motor Club, is in the mix. Nemechek clears Gibbs for third, and he's going for second on Bubba Wallace for the final transfer position while Hocevar continues to lead. He's led all the green flag laps since the competition caution at halfway. Jones found himself up in the marbles trying to go 3 wide to the outside, a little too far wide in 3 and 4, and Gibbs and SVG were able to get back by clear of him. Ty Dillon quickly to the inside of the 43 as well. Van Gisbergen's had a tough time trying to clear Ty Gibbs for position. Jones getting desperate, goes up the middle, 3 wide between them, and they bounce off of one another and continue to race on. Battle for second place continues as well and is very heated between John Hunter Nemechek, 4 wide net for third, 4th place rather, up off of turn 2. Ty Dillon found his way underneath everybody, and he's going to get his way to 4th. What a move by Ty Dillon. Eric Jones found his way by Gibbs and Van Gisbergen, who continue to lose ground racing one another. They've been side by side this whole time, but other guys are still finding their way around both of them. So both the Legacy Motor Club cars, who were not running well early, now sit 3rd and 4th, trying to both get into the main event. Nemechek leans a bit on Wallace up off of turn 4. 11 laps to go. Wallace clear into turn 1. Nemechek's got to go quickly because he's got pressure from behind. Ty Dillon is there. He looks to the inside of Eric Jones and almost got to the bottom underneath Nemechek as well through 1 and 2 the last lap. Eric Jones puts the hammer down up off the exit in turn 4, and Wallace stumps him against the fence. And Nemechek now has the advantage on the bottom lane of the racetrack, runs Wallace wide, and Nemechek is clear to the transfer position in 2nd place. 9 to go this time by, and our All-Star Open. Battle still goes on intensely for 3rd. Wallace gets hit from behind by Eric Jones. 3 wide for that 3rd spot as they run their way up the racetrack. Wallace is nearly against the wall and loses a ton more ground after contact with Eric Jones off turn 2. Ty Dillon is going to nearly get by for 3rd place, but Jones is still putting the pedal to the metal and holds on the high side. Nemechek has not pulled away from this battle despite how much contact cars have been making out of his rearview mirror. And the 2 Legacy Motor Club teammates could be the 2 battling for the final transfer position as we have 7 to go this time by. Carson Hocevar continues to lead the field. He's 9/10 of a second ahead of John Hunter Nemechek. Oldest left side tires are for Hocevar, but he's got the clean air advantage. We also don't know who's going to get the fan vote for the All-Star Open, so we'll have to pay attention to that as well. Noah Gregson's gotten it the last 2 years. Eric Jones the year before that. Bubba Wallace the year before that. And all three of them are not in the transfer position as of right now. Eric Jones is in third all alone, and he's pulling away from Ty Dillon. He hasn't gained a lot of ground, though, on his teammate Nemechek. Hosevar's lost a little bit of his lead to John Hunter, but not enough of it to this point. He's holding on for now. 4 laps to go this time by. It's about 2 miles around this just over half-mile oval, 6/10 of an oval. The distance to make a lap around North Wilkesboro Speedway. 18.97 that last lap for Hosevar. Fastest of any. He was the only driver to run a sub-19-second lap that last time by. Ty Dillon, second wind, gets to the inside of Eric Jones for a brief moment through 3 and 4, but can't hang alongside of him for third. Nemechek is pulling away from the battle behind him. Carson Hosevar from the outside of row 1 won the race off pit road, right sides only. He's led every lap of the second half of this race since we went green after the comp yellow, and he leads now with 2 laps to go in the All-Star Open. Coming up on the white flag this time by. His lead is about 5 to 6 car lengths over John Hunter Nemechek, and Nemechek's gap is about the same over Eric Jones behind him. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go for Carson Hosevar. Lap 100 of 100 in the All-Star Open. And as he drives off into the sunset, Carson Hosevar wins the Open, and he'll make his first ever All-Star Race appearance. Coming home in second is going to be John Hunter Nemechek. In third, Ty Dillon on the last lap gets by Eric Jones. Nemechek with the final transfer position, of course. And now the question is who got the fan vote? And Carson Hosevar, John Hunter Nemechek, the top 2 in advance to the All-Star Race. They'll be starting 21st and 22nd in the main event.
Will be the highest driver in the fan vote, not already in the field.
Well, there's one guy out there that's won it the last 2 years in a row, and he better lean on him again. That's Noah Gregson. We'll see.
Who's going to get
Pays to show up and
the
take
fan
care
vote?
of your fans, do autograph sessions. You might need them someday.
Or you might need a worldwide fan base to transfer on this one. Clint, how about you dial up the fan vote winner?
Is it Gregson again?
He does. He does a good job with his fan base, works hard with them. Good kid. Hey, Noah Gregson, it's Boyer up in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir. I got you, Clint.
Well, buddy, you just need to sit tight, because your fans done put you in this all-star race yet once again. Congratulations.
Oh, yeah, baby. The fans, you guys are the GOATs. Appreciate all the support. Nonetheless, this is a bitchin' race, and I'm glad to be a part of it. Thanks, fans.
We'll make them proud. Good luck.
Sir.
So Noah Gregson, who finishes 17th of the 18 cars in this All-Star Open field, wins the Elliott for the most fan vote wins in an All-Star Open in NASCAR history. Unbelievable. He's in, though. Carson Hosevar, John Hunter Nemechek raced their way in, finishing P1 and P2. You'll get to hear from them in a second. And then we'll go through the full field finishing order for the All-Star Open. Here's Carson Hosevar, our Open winner first.
Okay, you finished first. There was a little more in the middle, though. Early on, you had to hold on to the 77 car, but now you will be racing in the All-Star event tonight.
Yeah, it's super big for this group, this team. Yeah, it's great to win, especially being challenged by tires there. I had my hands full. We definitely have to go to work here on our race car because, I mean, I didn't really like it, but it's a good sign that we don't like it, and we were still pretty quick there. So hopefully we could take advantage of it. I've seen Casey Kane win, and Dale and others win for the Open and stuff. So maybe we could take that advantage of having this notebook and move forward early and be able to take this Indiana Fever Gatebridge Chevy up front.
All right, 4 of them to be exact. 4 of them with 1 from the Open race. Good luck in becoming the 5th, possibly. Jamie?
How about John Hunter Nemechek in that drive from 8th to 2nd? You're in your first All-Star race. How does that sound?
Heck yeah, we have a shot to go win $1 million. Hats off to this 42 team. We unloaded and we had good 2 or 3 lap speed, but really no long run pace. So proud of them for the effort that they put in yesterday and what they were able to find. And pitting there at that last deal, I knew I couldn't win from where I was at. We came and got 2, and helped us out. So hats off to the whole 42 team. Proud of the effort. Wish Taylor and the girls were here. They're at home. But overall excited to have a shot to go win $1 million in this Family Dollar Toyota Camry XSE.
Well done. John Hunter Nemechek advances to the All-Star.
Thanks, Jamie. Let's have a look at the pass that determined who goes.
A lot of green on the right side of our screen, indicating how many drivers moved up in the running order on that final restart with about 16 laps to go. Carson Hocevar, John Hunter Nemechek 1-2 in this. Ryan Preece probably had the fastest car in the All-Star Open. He doesn't advance with a violation of failing to basically indicate what line he was going to restart in. He ran over the cone. It looked like he wanted to go to the inside and then kind of swerve back up to the right as he was crossing the cone, ran over it right over the middle, which you can't do. You have to go either to the top, to the bottom of it, and that might have costed him a chance to get into this thing. Shane Van Gisbergen, of course, started on the pole, dominated the first half of this race, but the strategy of taking 4 tires does not pan out for him, and highly unfortunate there as he finishes further back in the field. So Carson Hocevar's margin of victory in the All-Star Open is about 0.6 of a second over John Hunter Nemechek. So I guess SVG a little upset with Todd Gilliland on the cool-down lap. Needless to say, outside of the top 2, third place finish for Ty Dillon, Eric Jones in 4th, Michael McDowell 5th, Zane Smith in 6th, 7th for AJ Allmendinger after starting in the last row. Bubba Wallace in 8th, Cole Custer 9th, and Riley Herbst rounds out the top 10. He brought out the only caution for incidents in the Open. Ryan Preece got back up to 11th on the final restart. Todd Gilliland 12th, Shane Van Gisbergen 13th, Justin Haley 14th, 15th for Ty Gibbs. Cody Ware 16th, Noah Gregson 17th, and Chad Fincham rounds out our 18-car field. Everybody finished and on the lead lap. That's it for this All-Star Open live commentary stream. We're going to be live for the NASCAR main event for the All-Star race at 8 p.m. Eastern. So again, 2 separate streams for this evening. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done so yet. Subscribe for more NASCAR content. And be sure to hit that like button so we can get to our goal of 50. We're at 36 as we end this stream, so hopefully we can get there soon after the finish of it. But thank you all for watching. Again, I'll see you later on tonight.